never come back here again.
We're talking Paul Daley.
Yeah.
Daley punches Koscheck at the end of the...
Presenting the reigning, defending.
In the unforgiving world of mixed martial arts, the UFC has seen its fair share of talent rise and fall. While some fighters gracefully exit the octagon, others face a far more ominous fate. For a select few, their journey ends not with a temporary setback, but with a permanent ban from the UFC. These individuals have committed acts so egregious that there's no path to redemption within the organization. But what leads a fighter to such a point? From violations to shocking behavioral issues, the reasons are as varied as they are severe. President Dana White has drawn a clear line in the sand, declaring that certain fighters will never set foot in the UFC again. Yet amidst these bans, some high-profile names like Conor McGregor and Khabib Nurmagomedov have skirted severe punishment despite their involvement in serious incidents. McGregor's infamous bus attack and bar altercation, along with Nurmagomedov's post-fight melee, shocked the world. Despite these actions, they remain emblematic figures within the sport. But for others who have crossed the line, there's no going back. Join us as we delve into the stories of fighters who found themselves banned from the UFC, their careers forever altered by their actions. Make sure to hit that like button below and subscribe to our channel for more captivating content on the world of mixed martial arts. Now, let's explore the reasons behind these bans. Rousimar Palhares case. Rousimar Palhares is undoubtedly among the best grapplers in MMA history. However, despite his success in the MMA world, he has a reputation for being very unsportsmanlike. Considering his misconduct inside the cage, this is not a big surprise, which left him banned from the UFC for life. The Brazilian was a master in using his incredible athleticism and BJJ skills to take his opponents down and submit them without much resistance. His first significant infraction came in 2010 at UFC 111 when he caught Thomas Drawl into a knee bar, which is, by the way, one of the most dangerous submissions because it can easily result in fractures and torn ligaments. Despite Drawl urgently tapping and screaming in pain, Palhares refused to let go of the knee bar until the referee physically forcefully separated his hand from Drawl's leg. Palhares received considerable backlash from the media and fans after the fight, along with a 90-day suspension for not letting go of the submission after the initial stoppage. After receiving public backlash and serving a lengthy suspension, one would expect Palhares to have learned from his mistakes. However, in 2013, at UFC Fight Night 29, he repeated the same mistake 2 years later against Mike Pierce. During the fight, the Brazilian managed to catch Pierce in a heel hook submission 30 seconds into the fight. But again, Palhares would not release the submission hold even after Pierce urgently tapped 8 times while screaming in pain. This led the referee to forcefully stop the fight immediately. The next day, UFC President Dana White announced Palhares had been removed from their roster for repeated unsportsmanlike conduct and implied he would never fight in the UFC again.
I'm going to cut him too.
Paul Daley case. Paul Daley is one of the top welterweights who actually became well known while fighting for Strikeforce and Bellator. He got banned for life for the unfortunate incident he caused at UFC 113 in Montreal in 2010 against Josh Koscheck. Daley was coming off 2 back-to-back co-finishes, and many people saw him as the future welterweight world champion. The hype behind this bout was massive, mainly because there was a big rivalry and a lot of back-and-forth trash talk between these two. During their fight, Daley lost his temper in the first round when Koscheck motioned to be hit with an illegal knee to the groin. Koscheck was then given time to recover. The fight would later continue, and Koscheck would then go on to dominate the match from the top position, utilizing high-level wrestling, while Daley was clearly looking desperate and frustrated at the bottom. At the end of the last round, Daley went up to Koscheck, but instead of shaking his hand, he unexpectedly hit him with a punch. The referee, Dan Miragliotta, promptly intervened and held Daley against the fence to prevent any further harm. After the incident, UFC President Dana White commented on Paul Daley's unsportsmanlike conduct.
He'll never come back here again.
We're talking Paul Daley.
Yeah.
Darrick Minner case. Darrick Minner had a few good showings in the UFC, but most fans will recall him and his coach, James Krause, for their involvement in a 2022 betting scandal that caused a complete overhaul of the UFC betting policy. Minner's coach, James Krause, was heavily into betting on MMA fights, and he even created a large online community of passionate gamblers. He used to make a lot of money by selling his tips, analysis, and information related to fighters competing on the card. The betting scandal broke out shortly after the UFC Fight Night 214, where Minner lost to Nurmagomedov after Minner injured his knee in the first round. During the bout, the trouble started for Minner when his leg kick injured himself, rendering him immobile. Nurmagomedov then delivered the final elbow strikes to finish the match. It was later discovered that Minner had an undisclosed knee injury at the time of the fight, which is likely to have contributed to his early defeat. But the real problem was that there were suspicious betting line movements among sportsbooks when Minner suddenly became a large betting underdog in the final hours before the fight. According to news reports, it appears that Minner's team intentionally made money by betting against their fighter due to his injured leg. The Nevada Athletic Commission suspended Minner and Krause indefinitely and banned them from attending or participating in UFC events. Additionally, they are under criminal investigation by the FBI. Their suspicious betting activity led to Minner's permanent release from the UFC in the end. Wanderlei Silva case. Wanderlei Silva is the legend of Pride FC and is widely regarded as one of the most aggressive fighters of all time. He received a lifetime ban from the UFC in 2016. Here's the story. In 2013, Silva's career was on the rise again when he knocked out Brian Stann in Japan. He was then given the opportunity to coach the Ultimate Fighter show alongside his rival, Chael Sonnen. However, Silva was pulled from the fight with Sonnen because he first failed to submit an application to fight in the state of Nevada. But the bigger problem was the fact that Silva fled from the random USADA drug test, which is a severe violation. In September 23, 2014, Silva received an unexpected lifetime ban from the Nevada State Athletic Commission, but a different judge overturned the lifetime ban in 2015. Later on, Silva found himself in a heated conflict with the UFC when he made completely false allegations about the organization's past fight fixing. The UFC immediately took legal action against Silva for attacking their integrity and reputation. Silva later retracted his allegation and issued an apology but was ultimately released from his UFC contract in the end. And that wraps up the intriguing stories behind some of the fighters who were banned from the UFC. From the highs of victory to the lows of controversy, these athletes have left an indelible mark on the sport of mixed martial arts. As we reflect on their journeys, it serves as a reminder of the immense dedication and sacrifices required to compete at the highest level. While some found success, others faced the harsh reality of their actions. But regardless of their paths, their stories serve as cautionary tales and lessons for fighters and fans alike. The UFC's commitment to upholding integrity and sportsmanship remains unwavering, ensuring the sanctity of the sport. If you found this exploration into the world of banned UFC fighters enlightening, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel. Your support allows us to continue bringing you fascinating insights into the realm of MMA. Thank you for joining us on this journey through the triumphs and tribulations of these remarkable athletes. Until next time, keep striving for greatness and keep fighting the good fight.